All right. Okay, guys, so we are working on the practice quiz today for Unit 2, Equations. You guys have been doing a really awesome job so far, really. This is tough stuff, and I'm proud of y'all. So let's go ahead and talk about just what your quiz is going to look like tomorrow, what's going to be on it. Your quiz tomorrow is going to look identical to this. The numbers will be different, the questions will be different, but just as a quick overview before we really get into it, you're going to have 4 questions on the first page right here about one-step equations. Those are all going to be worth 1 point each. The next 4 on the first page are going to be two-step equations, and those are going to be 2 points each. And then when you go to the back side, we've got a couple of multi-step equations. So these are going to be the ones where it's a little bit of a longer process. We want to really pay attention to things like distribution or whenever we have a fraction in here. These, I believe, I set at 3 points each. And then these are bonus points. So if we get these right, they give you bonus points on your quiz. If you get them wrong, they do not count against you at all. So your quiz is just 12 questions, really. It won't be too bad, guys. So let's go ahead and look at the first page. I also want to show the attention to the show your work and circle your answers. I appreciate when you guys do that. It helps me see your thinking, and you know, if you do get an answer wrong, I can look back and give you partial credit for doing certain steps correctly. Okay, so number 1 on one-step equations, we are trying to solve these for the variable n. I have 15 plus n equals 4. So looking at this just right off the bat, what are you guys thinking we could do as a first step here?
Subtract.
Yeah, yes, we're going to subtract 15 because we have an addition problem here. Even though the n comes second, we're still adding 15 to n. So to get rid of 15, we are going to subtract 15. And where else do I need to subtract 15?
4.
Good, under the 4. Perfect. Okay, what do I do next?
Cancel out.
Yes, my 15s are going to cancel out. Then what?
Bring it in.
Yes, bring down just my n and my equals, and then,
Negative
15.
yeah, so what is 4 minus 15?
Negative 11.
Yes, I believe so. I think it is negative. My math brain isn't on yet today. Here, I'll check you. I feel pretty confident that is correct, though. 4 minus 15, it is negative 11. Very good. So I'm going to write negative 11. So this was me showing my work. This is my answer, so I'm going to circle n equals negative 11. All right. Any questions on number 1?
Okay, so we did a negative 15.
Mm-hmm. So we had plus 15 here, so we subtracted 15. So 4 minus 15.
And then the negative, okay.
Yeah, gives us that negative. Because we're taking away more than we have here. It's like if I had $4 in my bank account and I decided to spend 15, my balance is going to show negative 11. What are you typing in?
Negative 15.
Are you typing, this is what we should type. I'll show you. Number 4, here. Oops, cleared. Okay. 4 minus, right here, 15.
Oh, so don't hit the negative.
Yes, we're just subtracting 15.
That's what I was doing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
Were you getting 19?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep, negative 11. Okay.
That's what I was doing.
No, that's all right. I'm glad you made sure you understood it before we moved on. Okay, let's look at number 2. For number 2, we have 3n equals negative 27. So first of all, whenever I have a variable that's attached to a number like this, what does this really mean? What's happening here?
Multiplication.
3 times.
Yes, We're doing a multiplication problem, 3 times n. So if I want to get n by itself, how am I going to separate that 3 from n? How am I going to get rid of that multiplication? Yes, we're going to divide by 3. So I'll divide by 3 here. And whatever I do on one side of the equation, I've got to do it to the other. Okay, what happens next?
You're gonna cancel out the 3.
Yes, my 3's cancel. Now what?
Bring down your n.
Yep, I'll bring down my n and my equals. And then what is negative 27 divided by 3?
Negative 9.
Perfect. You guys both got that? Awesome. Negative 9. N equals negative 9. There's my work, and I'm circling my answer. All right, any questions? Okay, let's check number 3. All right, I have n over 4 equals 2. What operation is happening here?
Division, but you're gonna,
Yeah.
yeah, division.
Yes.
You're gonna times 4.
4 times.
Anytime I have,
Divide by 4.
yes, anytime I have a fraction or a number over another number, this just can be read as n divided by 4. So we're always trying to get whatever n is by itself so that we can solve this. And Geneva, I heard you say we're going to multiply. You agree with that, Jenny? Yes, we're going to multiply by 4 to get rid of that division. And we've got to do that on both sides. Okay, what happens next?
You're gonna bring down your n and an equal sign.
Yes, I'm going to remember that my 4's cancel. I'll bring down my n equals, and what's 2 times 4?
8.
8. Very good. Any questions on number 3? We feel good about it? Good. Okay, let's check out 4. I have n minus 15 equals 3. What do I need to do here?
Hold on. We're going to bring the 15 down and make it a plus 15.
Yes. Remember, anytime we have any kind of equation we're solving, we're using our inverse operations. So if it helps, since you'll be able to use these on your quiz tomorrow, maybe let's make a little key off to the side. I'm going to write it right over here before we even start it. I'm going to say inverse operations. Okay, and let's just make a little list of our operations that we might be undoing in our equations. Hello, come on in. Kiana, you can grab a practice quiz off of that little table at the front. It's not the graphing one, it's the unit 2, yes, equations. And we're just going over these right now. Okay, so inverse operations, let's talk about it. What are some of the operations that we have, just in general?
We got, wait a minute, I got it.
That's okay. And if you need to peek at our little poster over here, you totally can.
Parentheses.
Uh-huh.
Parentheses, what's it called, exponent.
Uh-huh.
Multiplication, division, addition, yeah, multiplication,
Yeah.
division, and addition is subtraction.
Absolutely. So we're going to just write down a couple of those. Let's talk about multiplication and division. So multiplication, division, and I'll write the addition and subtraction. And I'm going to draw little arrows to show what the opposite of each one is. Because remember, anytime we're trying to get rid of something, like how we had n divided by 4, we did the opposite and multiplied to get rid of it. So we're going to make this little chart over here. First, what is the opposite of multiplication?
Division.
Division. Good. So I'm going to put a little division symbol there. What's the opposite of division? Multiplication. Good. What is the opposite of addition or a positive? Good. Subtraction or a negative. And what's the opposite of subtraction or a negative? Yes, addition or a positive. Okay, so anytime you're stuck on something, you can look back at this little key we made and say, well, what do I have here? So for number 4, I have n minus 15. Well, we could just look up at our chart and there's my minus. I need to add. I need to do a plus there. So number 4, tell me, what am I doing here? Yes. We're going to add 15 to get rid of that minus 15. And where else do I need to add 15? Under the 3. Good. Okay, what happens next? Yep, my 15s cancel out. Bring down my n. Good, bring down equals. Good, 15 plus 3 is 18. So there's my work. And I'm going to circle my answer. Good job. Any questions about that one? All right, and here I'll zoom out a little bit so Kiana, you can see the ones that we did before you got here. And if you have any questions about those, just let me know. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our 2-step equations. That's numbers 5 through 8. Now, with 2-step equations, there's some things that we need to keep in mind. We can't just, get all willy-nilly and start doing things in a random order. We do have a certain order that we have to solve things in. So, do any of you remember what we always need to do first when we have equations with more than one operation?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. Yes. So guys, normally whenever we're solving just a normal math problem, we're going to always do that multiplication and division first and then addition and subtraction. But just like we're doing inverse operations, we're doing everything backwards. We're trying to find the answer by working in reverse. We also need to do our operations in reverse order. So we need to do, and I'll make a little list out to the side. I would write this on your practice quiz as a key. The first thing we do is undo addition and subtraction. And once all of the addition and subtraction is gone, then we can do multiplication and division. All right. So we always want to get rid of any addition first before we try to separate our variable from whatever number it's attached to. Okay, any questions about that process before we start? Okay, let's look at number 5. And Kiana, can I move this up now? Is that okay? Okay, perfect. All right, number 5. We have 4 plus 2n equals 22. What should I do first?
Subtract 4 for both sides.
Yes. I have plus 4. We're going to get rid of addition and subtraction first. So to get rid of plus 4, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. Okay, what happens next? Yes, my 4's are going to cancel. Now what? Bring my 2n down, my equal, and what's 22 minus 4? 18. All right, am I done? I'm not. I still have an operation left that needs undone. I have 2n equals 18. What is happening here with the 2 and the n? Yes, this is multiplication. So you're exactly right. To get rid of the 2, we need to divide by 2. So let's write divided by 2. And where else do I need to divide by 2? Under the 18. We've got to keep our equation equal. All right, what happens next? Yeah, now we can cancel this 2 and this 2 out. We'll bring down our n and the equal sign. Now what's 18 divided by 2? 9. Good. All right, so there's all my work, and I'm going to circle my answer. All right. Any questions about number 5? Okay, we feel good about it? Good. All right, let's look at number 6. Now I have something that might look a little bit trickier. I have -3 plus 5n equals 77. What do I need to do here first?
Add 3 on each side.
Yes, we want to add 3 on both sides because we have a -3 here. So to cancel out a negative number, we're going to put a positive number under it. So plus 3. And then where else do I add 3?
Under the 77.
Yes, under the 77. Perfect. Okay, what happens next?
You gonna cancel out your 3?
Oh, yep, my 3's cancel out. Good.
Bring down the 5 in.
Mm-hmm. 5n equals, yep, 80. Good. All right. Now I have 5n equals 80. Remind me what operation is happening in the 5n? Multiplication. So how am I going to get rid of this? We're going to divide. So we're going to divide by 5 on both sides. All right. What happens next? My 5's will cancel. Bring down my n equals, what is 80 divided by 5? 16. Let's see, 80 divided by 5. Absolutely, n equals 16. So there's my work, and I'm going to circle my answer. Great job. Any questions on number 6? We all feel okay? Awesome. Let's do 7. We're already like halfway there, guys. Okay, number 7 says 4 plus n divided by 4 equals 12. What do I do first? Yes, 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 yes. We're going to subtract 4 to get rid of that plus 4. Where else do I subtract 4? Under the 12. Good. Okay, what happens next? Yep, we're going to cancel my 4's, then what? Bring down n over 4 equals 12 minus 4 is 8. Perfect. All right. What next?
We're gonna multiply 4.
Yes, n over 4 just means n divided by 4, and we know that to get rid of division, we multiply. So I'm going to do that on both sides. And what happens now?
You're gonna cancel out the 4.
Yes, cancel the 4's, and I get n equals what?
32.
32. All right. So there's all my work, and I'm going to circle my answer. All right. Any questions on number 7? Okay, let's do 8. Last one on the first page. I have n over 3 minus 4 equals 6. What do I do first? Perfect. I'm going to add 4 to get rid of minus 4. Where else do I add 4?
Under the 6.
Under the 6. Good. Now what? Yes, cancel the 4's. Bring down n over 3 equals 6 plus 4 is?
9.
Oh, so close. 10. Good, 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 good. All right, now we're left with n over 3 is equal to 10. How am I going to solve this?
Multiplication.
Yes, multiplication. That gets rid of division. So my 3's cancel, and I'm left with n equals, what's 10 times 3? 30. Awesome. All right, guys. Wonderful job. Wonderful job. That wasn't so bad, was it?
No.
Not so bad. Now that's the first page. This is the whole first page, guys. Let's go ahead and flip to the second page. Does anyone need any of this work before I flip?
No.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Numbers 9 through 12, we have multi-step equations. Okay, So before we get started on this, are there any of these numbers that are jumping out at you and you're thinking, I don't have a clue how to solve this? Do we have any confusion before we start?
I don't think.
Okay, let's just go for it then. Let's just go for it. Let's start with number 9. Our rules are going to stay the same as what we did before. Remember, we do addition and subtraction first. Then, once we've gotten rid of all the addition and subtraction, we move on to multiplication and division. So, we have 2 options for what we could do first here. Before we pick one, can you guys tell me which, or not which, what my 2 options are? What would those 2 options be here?
Subtract 5.
Mm-hmm.
On both sides, or plus 4 on both.
Yes, so we have a plus 5 here. We could subtract 5 from both sides, or we could start with getting rid of this minus 4 and adding 4 to both sides. Do you guys care which one we do first?
I'll do 5. Go ahead.
Let's do 5. We'll just go left to right. So we have plus 5. To get rid of it, we'll do minus 5. And on these multi-step equations, it's really easy to accidentally do that minus 5 on your minus 4 instead of 16. So if it helps you to draw a line where your equal sign is, then do that, just to give yourself kind of a visual aid. So we need to do it on the other side of the equation under the 16. All right, what happens next? Good, my 5s are going to cancel out. So yes, we're going to bring everything down. I have 3n minus 4 left on this side equals, what is 16 minus 5? 11. Good. All right. Now I have 3n minus 4 equals 11. What should we do here?
Plus 4.
Good. Plus 4 on both sides. All right. My 4's cancel. I'll bring down my 3n equals, and what's 11 plus 4? 15. All right. Everybody to that point? Awesome. Okay, we're at our final step. We're not done yet. Now we have 3n equals 15. And remind me, guys, what is happening here? 3n? Multiplication. So how do we get rid of it? We divide. So divide by 3 on both sides. Those 3's are gone. And I'm left with n equals what? 5. Good job. Good job. And then I circle my answer. All right, any questions on number 9? Okay, let's move on. Here's where it gets a little trickier, because this, in number 11, 10, and 12, so 10, 11, 12, these 3 problems are the ones that are slight exceptions to the rule where we would do addition and subtraction first. So anytime you have a part of an equation over a number or being divided by a number, we can't mess with anything on top here until we get rid of this 2. So we're really going to be doing something different before we get rid of the plus 1. Do any of you remember how we would get rid of this divided by 2? Yeah, we're just going to do the opposite. It's divided by 2, so we're going to multiply by 2. And where else do I multiply by 2? On the 8. Good. Okay, my 2's cancel. So I'm left with 3n plus 1 equals, what's 8 times 2? 16. Good. All right, now I can mess with these numbers. So what do I do next? Minus 1. Good. Perfect. Good job, guys. My 1's cancel. Bring down my 3n equals 16 minus 1. What's that? 15. Good. Okay. What's next? Yes, we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. My 3's are going to cancel, and I'm left with n equals, what's 15 divided by 3? 5. Good job, guys. Very good job. Okay, any questions on number 10?
No, ma'am.
All right, let's check 11. Okay, we have 8 times this quantity, 5n minus 5, is equal to 120. There's 2 different ways that we could solve this. 2 different ways. So first of all, anytime we see a quantity in parentheses, we know that we can't touch anything in here until we get rid of this number on the outside. So do you guys remember the 2 different ways that we could start this problem? Yes. So we could either start by distributing my 8 and do 8 times 5n minus 8 times 5. Or if you don't want to do 2 different multiplication problems, what you could do, just like Kiana said, is just divide this whole side by 8 to get rid of this times 8, and then divide 120 by 8 also. So let's just start with the distribution method, and we can run through both ways. So what is 8 times 5n?
40n.
40n, is that what y'all said?
Mm-hmm.
I need to brush up on my multiplication facts. Okay, so 40n, then what?
8 times 5.
8 times 5, and that is?
40.
40. Good. And what am I putting in between these? I can't just put them next to each other.
The minus.
Minus, that minus carries down. Good. So 40n minus 40, then what do I do? Yeah, I'm just going to bring down equals 120. Okay. Now I have a problem where I can work with things. What should I do next? Good. Add 40 on both sides. Okay, what's going to happen now? My 40s are going to cancel. And what am I left with? 40n equals, what's 120 plus 40? 160. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, now we're left with just a single step equation. I have 40n equals 160. So that's 40 times n. Yes, now we just need to divide by 40. Good job, guys. On both sides. Yep, then my 40s cancel, so I'm left with n all by itself equals, what is 160 divided by 40? 4. Good. So I'm going to circle my answer. Wonderful, guys. Any questions about number 11?
No, ma'am.
Okay, good, good. Let's try 12. Number 12 is just like number 10. What do we do? Yes, we have divided by 4, so to get rid of it, we will do times 4. What else do I need to do? Yes, do the 4 times 3 as well. My 4s will cancel, so I'm left with 5n minus 3 equals 3 times 4? 12. Good. What's next? Plus 3 on both sides. Okay, my 3's cancel. So I'm left with 5 times n equals what? 15. Good. Okay, what's my last step here? Good. Divide by 5 on both sides. My 5's cancel, and I'm left with n equals 3. Good. Very, very good. Any questions? Wonderful, guys. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on to our bonus questions that we'll have. These are a little bit tricky, but I believe in y'all. Remember, if you get them wrong on the quiz, it won't count against you. If you get them right, you get bonus points. So let's look at the first bonus question here. I have 5n minus 6 equals negative 4 plus 6n. So what is different about this kind of problem? Yes, I have some like terms here that need to be combined. I have 5n on one side and I have 6n on the other side. So whenever we have an equation with variables on both sides of the equal sign, what do we need to do first? We can't divide just yet.
The like terms,
Yeah. Whenever we have variables on both sides, we need to first get all of our n's on the same side. So I could either subtract 6n on both sides to combine it with 5n, or I could subtract 5n on both sides to get rid of it here and put it with the 6n. So which one do you guys want to do?
6n, well, 5n.
Let's do the 5n. And the reason I'm thinking we'll do 5n is because whenever we subtract 5n from 6n, 6 minus 5 is 1. We're going to be left with 1n, which is just n. So we won't have to do any division if we do it this way. If I did it the other way, I would end up with a negative number, and I'd have to do some division there. Okay. What happens now? Yes, there's no more 5n on this side. It's canceled. Now what? Yep, so we got to make sure that we pay attention to our signs too. This is a negative 6 because it was minus 6. So I'm bringing down negative 6 equals negative 4 plus, what is 6 minus 5? 1. So you could write 1n, or I would just write n because I know I'm left with n by itself. I've just got 1n here. Okay, what do we need to do next for our final step? So let's think about it. If I add 6 on both sides, then I would have 0 equals 2 plus n. Is that going to help me get closer to my answer? It could, but we would still have to get that 2 back over here. What we want to do is get n by itself. So here's my equal sign. I'll draw my line. Here's one side of my equation. Here's my other side. I want n to be all alone. So what do I need to get rid of over here? Yeah, I need to get rid of this negative 4, so we're going to add 4. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so what happens now? Yep, my 4's will cancel. And what next?
Negative 6 plus 4.
Yeah, what's negative 6 plus 4?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Then what?
Oh, plus n.
Is there anything left over here?
No.
Nope, and I've got an equal sign. I need to bring everything down, guys, right? So I'm going to write negative 2 equals n. That's your answer. Even though n is on the right side of the equation now instead of the left like we're used to, this is still the answer. This is correct. N is negative 2. So we circle it, and that's it. Okay, do we have any questions about this one? I know this one was a little bit trickier. We feel okay about it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do another one. Guys, this is the last one. We're going to have a super short class today. Okay. 24 plus 6n equals, I really threw you a curveball here, guys, negative 3 times 2 minus 7n. Whew. What should we do?
Get the 16 and the 7 in together.
We do want to get them together, but remember, if I've got something in parentheses,
Start with the parentheses.
can I mess with it yet?
No.
No. So what should we do here? Yeah, we're going to start with distribution, guys. We're going to start with distribution. Okay, and remember, this is a bonus question, so it's okay. All right, so now let's just not worry about this side of the equation. I'm going to cover it up with a sticky note. I don't even want to think about it. Okay, this is like what we did before on your last quiz, if you remember, we would have some distribution problems just like this. So, what am I doing here, guys?
Multiplying.
Yeah, I'm multiplying. So, what is -3 times 2? -6. Good. So, I have -6. Now I have -3 times 7n. But I also have a minus here. So there's a couple ways we could think of this. We could bring down our minus sign and go ahead and do -3 times 7n. And when we get a negative answer, we'll have minus a negative. So that'll turn into a plus. Or we could just think of this as -3 times -7n so that we get a positive answer and we just put the plus. Does that make any sense what I just said, or should I write that out to explain it a little better? I'm happy to write it out.
Yeah, you can write that.
Let's write it out.
I just put a minus sign.
Yeah, let's write it out. So here is something that could happen. I'm going to rewrite this. -3 times 2 minus 7n. So remember, what's really happening here for the second arrow specifically is -3 times 7n, right? So if we think of it like this, we've got our 2 minus 7n, we would get -3 times 7n is -21n. So this would be the answer we get. And whenever we put it back up here, I'm going to rewrite it again. -3, 2 minus 7n. So we got -3 times 2 was -6. Then we'll bring down the minus. And then I've got minus 21n. If I do it this way, then I need to remember when I have two minus signs next to each other, what do I need to do? They kind of cancel out, and this would turn into -6 plus 21n. So that's one way you could think of it. If you prefer to carry down your minus sign and just use a positive, that works absolutely. Something else you could do, and you'll get the exact same answer. And if you feel good about this first explanation and you think a second explanation is going to confuse you, you're welcome to tune it out. So I've got -3, I'm just rewriting that again, 2 minus 7n. Okay, so I did -3 times 2, and I got -6. And then instead of bringing down my minus sign, I could think, okay, -3 times -7n, two negatives make a positive. So since I have a positive answer, I'm going to write plus 21n. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
Okay, okay, good. All right, so let's go back to our problem. I'm going to remove these sticky notes and we're just going to work through it like normal now. Unless, does anybody need to see these still?
No.
Okay. All right. So, -3 times 2, we got -6. And then -3 times either -7n or the minus that multiplication problem. What are we going to get here beside -6? Good. Plus 21n. Okay, we're done with the distribution now. So now I'm going to look at the rest of my equation. Once I've done the distribution, what do I do over here?
You subtract 24.
Absolutely, but what I'm going to do before I subtract 24 is I'm just going to bring it down so that everything's lined up nicely and I don't lose track of stuff. So I'll rewrite my equals 6n plus 24 there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you said subtract 24?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. Let's subtract 24. Minus 24. And where else am I subtracting 24? Under my -6. Good, that's my like term. Okay, so my 24's cancel. And I'm left over here with 6n equals -6 minus 24. What is that?
22. I mean, wait a minute. I'm gonna take it in both.
Type in -6 minus 24. -30. So when you're subtracting from a negative number, you can also think of it as a negative plus a negative. So -6 plus -24, -30. Okay. And I still have a 21 in over here. So plus 21 in. Okay. Is everybody following up to this point? Is anybody feeling confused? We okay to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, what should I do next?
Add 30.
Okay, I could add 30. What would I add it to?
Is it,
The 21.
Yeah, we have two variables here. We have an n on this side and an n on this side. So we need to put them together. Now we could have done that earlier. It doesn't matter what order we do it in as long as we do it. But since we're here now, let's go ahead and do it now. So you said minus 21 in, is that what you want to do? Okay, minus 21 in on both sides. Okay, and then what happens?
21.
Yes, my 21s are gone, they cancel. And what is 6n minus 21n? Yes, -15n equals -30. Okay. We're left with one final step. I've got -15 times n equals -30. What do I do here? Yes, I'm going to divide by -15 on both sides. And before we even think about our answer, what happens whenever I take a negative divided by a negative? What's going to be the sign of my answer? A positive. My two negatives are going to cancel out. Good job, guys. So let's bring down the n equals, and what is 30 divided by 15? 2. N equals 2. Okay, that's it. That's the whole practice quiz, guys. This is exactly what your quiz will look like tomorrow. It will be pretty much identical to this. The only thing that will be different is the numbers and the questions. It'll be set up the exact same, okay? So that's really it, guys, and that's all I'm planning on doing with y'all today. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this recording, and once it's done, we can spend some time asking questions if anyone has any.